Hey there, guys. So, as you remember, a couple days ago, before taking a quick break from this channel, I had a video that was all about playing Ultimate Basketball, which is an ultimate disaster. Well, a lot of people told me that they thought there was a game that was worse than that, so we're going to go ahead and play that today. That's going to be this one. So, this is Magic Johnson's Fast Break for the NES, and I would like to go back to the introduction screen. Thank you very much. So when the game goes to the demo, if you push start, instead of exiting the demo, we're going to go over here to a professional. When you push start instead of exiting the demo, all it does is pauses the demo. That's a great sign. Ah, yes. All the great games allow you to pass the ball in like this. I actually haven't played the game at this more difficult level yet. I think it just has to do with the speed of your game more than anything else. Okay, so clearly, it's been a little while since I played this game, but the B button passes and the A button jumps. Takes a shot. So now the defenders are faster than you are. Oh, there we go. So the secret to this game, as I recall, is that you want to shoot a whole bunch of threes. Because the chances of you making a three-point shot are equal to the chances of you making, like, any kind of shot, like, at all. And so you do the best you can to get the ball here, and then you just sort of flip it up. This game is really, really bad. Is this game worse than Ultimate Basketball? Well, it has a lot of really bad things in common with Ultimate Basketball. You know, like the ball being stolen like at random like this. This is another thing that Ultimate Basketball features. One of the differences about this game, however, is that it is actually an easier game. Like, it is possible to beat the game once you figure out what it is you're doing. The biggest problem with this game, again, is... Well, okay, the backcourt violations are a big problem, but really the biggest problem with this game is the fact that the computer can steal it just so easily, right? So half the time the ball is just stolen from you and there's nothing you can do about it. But the nice thing is that you can still at least sort of get back into the game. Like, for the sake of comparison, like the time the Ultimate Basketball version that I uploaded, I got, I think I had 28 points or something like that all game. That was it. So we're doing a little bit better here. Now, these Magic Johnson cutscenes are a really, really bad idea. I have no idea why they put that in. I'm trying to pass it out. Instead, I just give the ball up. Yeah, this game, though, is bad, and whether you consider one game to be better or worse than the other one kind of depends upon your own preference. Neither one of these games are going to be mistaken at any time soon for, like, an actual good game. Alright, these games are awful. Just absolutely awful. The nice thing about this is that you can shoot the ball from basically anywhere back there that you want, and you'll have about the same percentage chance of making it. I think you want to avoid the place where you don't jump for your three-point shot, right? You want to make sure you jump. But other than that, like, basically your goal is to get the ball across the half-court line and then shoot. And then just shoot and shoot and shoot. There you go. Like Harlem Globetrotters, this game is actually incredibly boring, right? That backcourt violation is like basically the only interesting thing that happens in the game. Other than that, it's just you get the ball stolen or you manage to steal the ball and then you shoot a three. There you go. So this is, of course, that run and gun offense where you play no defense at all and just shoot threes all day. And just think, we have 4 quarters of this to play. How much fun that is. It's absolutely just a dream. Alright, Steph Curry in the house, baby. So at least Ultimate Basketball has like different players, right? But at the same time, this game is, comparatively speaking, this game's a little bit easier to figure out because you have, you can actually like see what's happening. You don't have like a million guys sitting around. The biggest problem with this game is that there are times where the game will not let you shoot the basketball for some strange reason, like I just had there when I had the ball a second ago. As soon as I got it and it was in three-point land, I wanted to shoot, and for some reason I couldn't. So that happens sometimes. The game kind of functions according to its own logic and its own rules. Yeah, having Magic Johnson's face come up every single time you hit a three-pointer is a really kind of bad idea. So like right there, right, I was pushing the A button, couldn't shoot the shot at all, and so they have 49 points in the first quarter, we had 30. This doesn't tell me, unfortunately, any of the percentages, but perhaps that doesn't matter so much. Anyway, I mean, is this really like the worst basketball game of all time? I don't know. This is definitely up there, though. This is a bad game. Now, the funny thing about this, though, is that the NES version, as bad as it is actually better than the arcade version, believe it or not. I know that that sounds really odd, but we'll play the arcade version here in a couple of days, and you can see for yourself. This is a really, really bad game. This is, of course, as you may or may not know, it was originally designed on the old Amiga computer, the Commodore Amiga. You should check out my video about this game if you haven't checked it out yet. Chances are you probably have if you're watching this. The Commodore Amiga version of this game is actually worse. It's worse than the arcade version. So it wasn't released for the Amiga originally. It was originally only released for the arcade. And the arcade version is really, really rough. The Amiga version later came out, I think, in Europe only, and it's just exactly the same as the arcade version. I mean, they might have changed a couple of things to make it so that you can play it without putting in a coin or something like that, but it's the same game. The NES version, ironically, considering how bad it is and how much people hate it, the NES version is actually the most playable version of this game. And when you're watching this and you're seeing what happened, you're probably thinking, what do you mean playable, right? I mean, this is really, really bottom of the barrel type NES. It feels like an Apple II game is what it feels like, right? In fact, I'm pretty sure that, you know, like, remember like the hunting stage and Oregon Trail? I'm pretty sure that that has better graphics and sound and control and animation than this game. I mean, this game is just awful. This is just so bad. And you gotta love that sound, right? What a soundtrack. Anyway, the other game that is commonly thought of as one of the worst basketball games of all time on the NES is Harlem Globetrotters. I know I did a full video on that one. I should play that game as well. That game is better, though, than these two. There are people who think the Harlem Globetrotters is, you know, undeniably the worst. I think it really depends on what you had when you were growing up. But having played these games numerous times, I can tell you that Harlem Globetrotters is absolutely a better game than this. It's a similar game, right? Like the graphics are basically the same, right? The sound is just as stupid and boring and lame, right? It's about as much fun, right? But Harlem Globetrotters actually like resembles an actual game of basketball, whereas this does not. In theory, you're supposed to be able to make some of those half-court shots, but I've never actually been able to make them. Up and see, I just accidentally hit one of those, what are they called, shader things. So all the people are going to come back and tell me that I'm supposed to be playing this with scan lines on, which is, anyway. Since we're talking about just about anything, I'll give you my rant on that. When I was a kid, playing games on, you know, the Nintendo and on an old CRT, which is the only television that we had, if I knew that you could play games with the clarity you can play them with on like modern emulation, I would have wanted to change like in a heartbeat. I mean, The only reason why you get people who are interested in CRT gaming, honestly, is because you get people who have convinced themselves that there's some sort of superiority assigned with using original hardware. It's not really the case. It's not really true. I've seen both together. I've tried both. I don't see what the big deal is. I can understand wanting to use original hardware. You can't shoot it beyond a half court, unfortunately. I can understand wanting to use original hardware, especially because you get delays on modern television sets. Look at that. We have 43 steals in this game. It's insane. 43 steals? We've made 23 pointers? Defensively go after the steal. I didn't know that. We only have 43 of them. All right. I'm glad that Magic told us those words of wisdom. Boy, I better go for the steal. I think I actually had a friend who had this game, but I don't think that we ever played it. I think that he was probably traumatized by it. So I pushed the B button numerous times there to pass, and I was unable to pass it. Ah yes, fair and balanced. Where's the spiffing Brit? We need the spiffing Brit to cover this game. We also need Mike Matei to play this game, right? This is an AVGN type game. This is just awful. Anyway, like I said, yeah, Harlem Globetrotters, and there's another game called, what is it, All Sports Basketball, something like that, that's also just horrible. Those are kind of your trilogy or I guess your four, sucky NES basketball games. These games are just like unplayable bad. All right. And then there are other games that are just bad. All right. And even some games that, like, I know I haven't covered yet. People have been asking me when I'm going to play Jalico Hoops, for example. We'll get to that eventually. The game's okay. I don't know. It's not the greatest basketball game I've ever played. I'll put it that way, right? Even for an NES basketball game, I mean, it's like, it's kind of lame. And it, again, is pretty boring. That's the biggest problem with a lot of these games. It's definitely the biggest problem with this game. It's just not entertaining, not interesting. It's not like NBA Jam where like interesting things are happening and the game's glitching and stuff. This one is it's just what it is. We can play other games too, right? We can play Arch Rivals. That's a great NES game. Yeah, backcourt violation again. Gets you every time. The funny thing is, if you play the arcade version of this game, the demo screen will have a backcourt violation, and the arcade version has like these horrible backcourt violations, right? Because like it'll be like you can't even see that you have the ball, right? At least with this game, like you look and you're like, okay, I see what happened, right? Play the arcade game and there's just no chance. You have no idea what's going on. Anyway, after playing this and complaining about it for a while, I think that what you're supposed to do on the inbounds pass is I think you're just supposed to go for like the long bomb, instead of going for an easier pass. Because otherwise the other team's going to steal it, like, every single time. I'm surprised that wasn't another backcourt violation, but we made it. And we get 3 points out of it. If I remember right, it's been a while since I've looked at it, but if I remember right, I think the manual tells you that, like, you can't shoot or whatever if you got a guy, like, right up on you or something. I don't know. Like, all the crappiness that happens in a lot of these games, believe it or not, there were people who deliberately programmed it that way. Anyway. So we talk a lot these days about, AI slop programming and stuff like that. This isn't quite AI slop, right? It is slop, but it's definitely not AI controlled. And I say that because there's a certain amount of consistency that this game has with itself. Right, so that, like, there are certain rules that the game will follow. It doesn't just sort of like make it up as it goes and then changes it. And I say that because, on my Football Manager channel, right, I played, for a while I was playing Football Manager 26, which is AI slop. And you can tell it's AI slop because there's no consistency in the game, right? Things will display a certain way sometimes, and then it'll, like, change every once in a while to, like, some other thing, like totally at random. Right, or like whatever, like something will work sometimes and then it doesn't work, or like the game will work and then it suddenly crashes and there's no reason for it. AI slop, right? AI can't be consistent. This game, however, is really, really bad, yeah, but it's consistently bad. Apparently, I can shoot straight off of the inbounds pass. Although we saw that happen actually the other day in NBA Jam Tournament. Just remember that? We actually had a shot made by the computer off of a guy's head, which is pretty interesting in itself. I forget, I have to actually push to change my player here. So we're only down by 4 now. I love to see the scoring by quarter. 72 steals, so we should get over 100. Play better defense, right? We have 72 steals, play better defense. Magic, I'm going to tell you where you can stick it. I hope that Magic Johnson actually watches this video. Dear Magic Johnson, your game sucks. Easy as that. All you have to do is just run behind the defense, and then you get your get back here. Get your three-pointer, and that's all you need. Oh, what shall I do? Oh, I think I'm going to do this. Shoot a 3. Corner 3. That's another game we should play together, huh? Double dribble. You'll notice that, you know, Family Guy, whoever wrote that segment, decided not to use Magic Johnson's fast break, right? Because they wouldn't be able to use the corner 3 thing. Instead, it would be, you know, a bunch of guys like swearing at each other over how awful this freaking game is. By the way, you probably already know this, but the trivia about that Family Guy segment is that I believe that they originally stole that footage from a YouTube video and then sued when the guy tried to, or even though it was still up there, they sued and claimed that it was their own property or something like that. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's definitely what I've heard. I'm pushing A over and over again. It does nothing. The buttons, they do nothing. There we go. The goggles, they do nothing. There we go. Oh, come on. All right, we're getting there. This game, by the way, is for like the championship of the world or something like that. Basically, if I win this game, I never have to play it again, right? It's one of the things that drives me nuts. So if you have the ball, you know, in a certain trajectory away from the basket, he won't jump. He'll just like chuck it up, right? Like, when do you ever see that happen in a game, right? You have the ball in like 3-point land and you just like, you don't even jump, you just like throw it up towards the basket. I've never seen that. Why would they have that in this game? And the other thing is TF, so there's a way to foul in this game. I've never seen a foul in this game. I've played this game, well, a couple times now, but I've never seen a foul. All right, you can foul? All I've seen are, you know, 3-point shots that go in about like 70% of the time. Yeah. Backcourt violation. I know, I know. All right, here we go. Oh, get back here. There's another one. All right. Play better defense. He's going to tell me that again. Play better defense. All right. You only had 100 steals. Play better defense. I want to foul him. Let me foul him. How come you don't tell them to play better defense, huh? They should be playing better defense. I'm playing great defense. Anyway, if you check out like the Wikipedia article for this game, I think that it talks about this being like the first game to have like a major corporate sponsor or something like that, or one of the first because of that stupid Pepsi logo. which I guess is cool. I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, if I were Pepsi and I realized that like I was sponsoring this game, I'd want my money back. I mean, look at that. I got the ball and I couldn't even shoot it. I just was standing there the whole time. All right, we win 145 to 118. 105 steals for us. They had 80. We made 47 three-pointers, so take that, Steph Curry. 49 field goals made, 47% shooting percentage, but you know, we attempted a whole bunch. We attempted 103, 145 points. That was after being down for most of the game, so I'm the champ. My new salary is $2,414,000, so there you go. And that makes me second. All right. There you go. So we have second place now. That was Magic Johnson's fast break. What do you think? You think that's worse than Ultimate Basketball? That game's pretty bad. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Talk to you later.